Thanks for joining us for part 2 of our two-part series. This video will provide a more in-depth look at building and managing your virtual data center environment. Let's get started with part 2. Since part 1 covered all of the initial setup, we will be focusing on building vApps, building virtual machines, managing your virtual machine environment, both vApps and VMs, and load balancing your web servers. Building vApps. First, we should understand why we're building vApps. vApps are logical containers that allow us to organize our virtual servers and form structure for our virtual servers. For example, you can organize your VMs by department, function, or company. There are several places where you can begin the process of adding a vApp. 2 are on the home page, and 1 place is in the NewCloud tab. You can choose to build a brand new vApp or add a vApp from catalog. To build a brand new vApp, select the Build New vApp icon and walk through the configuration menu. You'll be asked to name your vApp, describe your vApp, and set lease times. Typically, lease times are not used and set to never expire to ensure that a vApp does not automatically shut down. Add a virtual machine. You can choose to add a virtual machine right from this menu, or you can leave this blank and add a virtual machine later on. Configure your resources for your virtual machine, configure your virtual machine if you added one, and configure your network settings for your virtual machine. We'll go through the 3 last tabs in a little more detail when we do add a virtual machine to our vApp. And lastly, a ready to complete page summarizes our vApp build. Once you select Finish, the vApp will provision automatically. Notice that if you do not spin up a VM in this process, your vApp will remain stopped. Before discussing vApp templates, let's review the Catalogs tab. This is the tab that gives you access to all templates and media that your organization and NewCloud Networks has provided for use in your virtual data center environment. To upload an existing vApp template, go to the vApp Templates tab under your specific catalog and select this icon, and fill in all necessary information and click Upload. If you would like to make a vApp template from a vApp that you built in your virtual data center environment, you can do so by making sure the following criteria is met. Your vApp must have a virtual machine within the vApp, the VM must be powered off, and the vApp must be stopped. Right-click on the vApp and in the drop-down, select Add to Catalog. The wizard to the right will appear. Fill in the name of the template, a brief description, select the virtual data center you'd like to store it in, the type of storage profile it will be using, which catalog you'd like to save it to, and how long you'd like to save the template for. Lastly, you can select for the template to have a custom VM setting or identical to that of the vApp that you are currently attempting to take a template of. Once finished, your virtual data center will provision the template to the appropriate catalog. To use the template, go ahead and highlight the template from your vApp template screen within the specific catalog and select the Add to My Cloud icon. Your virtual data center will start configuring and provisioning this new vApp immediately. Now that we know how to make vApps and vApp templates, it's important to understand how to get all software and operating systems loaded into your virtual data center environment. From your specific organization's catalog, navigate to the Media tab and select the Upload Media icon, and follow the Upload wizard. You can also copy media from public catalogs. From the specific public catalog, select the Media tab, then right-click on your desired ISO or media that you'd like to copy. Select Copy to Catalog, and the following screen should appear. Go ahead and name your new ISO. Select the catalog you'd like to copy to, which virtual data center you'd like to be copying it to, and which storage profile you'll be using to store this ISO. Then select OK. This should then give you access to this ISO or media in your virtual data center's catalog. This concludes the catalog section. Let's get to building virtual machines. Building virtual machines. To spin up a new virtual machine, there are 2 ways to do so. 1, you can spin up a new VM during the vApp building process by selecting the new virtual machine icon on this page of the vApp building process. The second way is by accessing a specific vApp from the MyCloud page. Select the specific vApp you'd like to add a virtual machine to and choose the Virtual Machines tab. Then select the Add icon. This wizard will appear. Go ahead and configure your new VM. 1. Name your virtual machine. The computer name will automatically fill in as you fill in the VM name. 2. Describe your virtual machine and its purpose. This is optional. 3. Select your hardware version. 4. Select the appropriate operating system for your VM. 5. Select the number of CPUs you'd like your VM to have. 6. Configure the amount of memory the server will have. 7. Select your hard disk size. 8. Bus type. And 9. The number of NICs the server will need. Once finished, select OK and you'll be led back to this screen. Here, a new VM line item will appear. Select Next to finish networking the VM. Under Configure Resources, go ahead and select the appropriate storage profile for your VM's hard disk space. Then hit Next. Configure your virtual machine's network and how you'd like it to receive its IP address. Configure specific details about the networking, review the summary, and select Finish. Your virtual data center will start automatically provisioning your new virtual machine. Once finished provisioning, the VM will appear powered off. Since this is just the empty box, we'll need to install the operating system. Right-click on your VM and select Insert CD/DVD from Catalog. All of your catalog's ISO images will appear in this list. Go ahead and select the appropriate ISO and select Insert. Once your VM returns to its powered off state, go ahead and power on your VM. By double-clicking on the VM, we can gain console access to our new virtual server. That means literally mouse, keyboard, and display directly plugged into your virtual machine. Now you're ready to configure your new virtual server. Now that we've learned how to build a vApp and spin up a virtual server, let's talk about managing them. 3. Managing your VM environment. To access specific management tools for your vApps, you can simply right-click on them directly on the home screen to open a list of actions. You can open the vApp, start, suspend, stop, or reset the vApp, discard the current suspended state, share the vApp with other users, change owners, upgrade virtual hardware versions, add this specific vApp as a template to Catalog, copy or move the vApp, delete the entire vApp, create, revert, or remove a snapshot, and of course, properties to see specific settings of the vApp and its virtual servers. Just as you would access vApp actions, you can do the same with virtual machines. Just right-click on the virtual machine and a list of actions also appears here. You can pop out the VM console to be able to work within the VM, power on, suspend, power off, and reset the VM, discard its suspended state, insert CD/DVD from Catalog, eject CD/DVD from Catalog, insert floppy from Catalog, eject floppy from Catalog, insert VMware Tools, which optimizes and enhances the performance of the virtual machine, upgrade virtual hardware versions, download Windows Remote Desktop shortcut file in case you need to RDP into your new server, copy or move your VM to another location, delete your virtual machine, create, revert, or remove a snapshot, and lastly, properties, which will allow you to look at the specifics of your virtual machine's build and customize or hot add RAM, storage, and CPU if you choose to do so. If you run into any questions about your virtual machine environment, please email us at support@newcloudnetworks.com. The last section of this tutorial will be dedicated to load balancing virtual web servers. In order to configure load balancing, there are a couple things your virtual data center will need. First, virtual web servers need to be configured and ready to take on the load. In our example, we will have 2 vApps and 3 virtual machines. Each will be running Windows Server 2008 R2, IIS 7, and custom configured index pages so that we know which server is handling which connection. To configure load balancing, you'll need the IP address of each virtual server. In our case, it will be the following for Web 01, Web 02, and Web 03. The IP address of the network we would like load balancing to occur for. In our case, it will be the external IP of our virtual data center environment because we want to load balance all incoming traffic. Lastly, make sure that the firewall in your virtual data center environment has established rules configured for allowing HTTP, HTTPS, and/or TCP traffic. Once all of this is acquired, we are ready to build our load balancing pools. We want to tell our virtual data center that Web 01, Web 02, and Web 03 will be our 3 servers that will handle all HTTP and HTTPS traffic. To do so, we'll navigate to our Administration tab, the specific virtual data center, in our case den-test51-VDC, select the edge gateways, right-click on our specific gateway, in this case test51, and select Edge Gateway Services. Navigate to the Load Balancer tab and select Pool Servers. Then select Add to add a new pool of virtual servers. The Add Pool Server page will appear. 1. Name the pool of servers. 2. Configure services. Choose which services you would like to load balance and the method in which you will use to load balance between the servers in this pool. All the choices are shown here. We have IP hash, round robin, URI, and least connected. 3. Configure health check. Select the ports that will monitor the traffic. 4. Manage members. Manage members is where you can add virtual servers to the pool. Select the Add button in the bottom right of the page and enter the virtual server's IP address, its weight ratio in the pool, and what type of traffic it will be handling. Select OK. Here is a screenshot of our Manage Members page once we've entered all 3 of our virtual servers. Ready to complete. View the quick summary page and select Finish. Once we've built our pool of backend servers, we'll need to configure our virtual server to receive the traffic. From the same Load Balancers page under Edge Gateway Services, select Virtual Servers. Select Add and let's configure what type of traffic we want to go through our servers. 1. Name this virtual server. 2. Select the network you'd like to apply load balancing on. In our case, it will be our external network. Enter the external IP address and select the pool of servers you'd like to use to load balance the traffic. Enable the services you'd like to be balanced and ensure that the Enable box is checked. Then select OK. Back on the Load Balancer page, confirm your selection and click OK. Your virtual data center will start configuring automatically. Here comes the fun part. Let's test it. You'll notice that every time we refresh the page, we go to a different virtual server. That is how we know our virtual data center is configured correctly to load balance all external traffic coming into our virtual servers. That concludes part 2 of our virtual data center guide. I hope you enjoyed learning about your portal and its capabilities. What have we accomplished in this video? Well, we were able to build and manage both vApps and virtual machines, as well as build in load balancing to our virtual web server environment. If you need references on specific how-tos of setting up the initial network within your virtual data center, please reference part 1 of this series. If you have questions or suggestions, please email us at support@newcloudnetworks.com. Thank you for choosing NewCloud Networks, and thanks for watching.